Ambassador Kethvar had studied human military history for decades, but standing in the ruins of the Zarian defense grid, he finally understood what made these creatures so terrifying. The smoking remains of what had been the galaxy's most impregnable fortress stretched for kilometers around him, reduced to twisted metal and slag by a human fleet one-tenth its size. "Explain this to me again," he said to Colonel Martinez, who stood beside him with the casual demeanor of someone discussing the weather. "Your species evolved from tree-dwelling fruit gatherers. You should be the least militaristic race in the galaxy." Martinez picked up a piece of debris and examined it thoughtfully. "That's where everyone gets it wrong, Ambassador. We weren't born for war. We were made for it. Every single day of our evolution." The Zephyrian diplomat's four eyes narrowed in confusion. "Your historical records show a peaceful agrarian development, farming, art, philosophy." "Sure, after we'd already won." Martinez gestured to the devastation around them. "You want to know why we're so good at this? Let me tell you about persistence hunting." Kethvar had heard the term before, but never understood its significance. "Humans are the only sapient species that evolved as endurance predators," Martinez continued. "We didn't have claws, fangs, or armor. We couldn't outrun our prey or overpower it. So we developed something better. We learned to never give up." The colonel began walking through the wreckage, his boots crunching on crystallized metal. "We would pick a target and follow it. Not fast, not dramatically, just follow. For hours, sometimes days. The animal would run until its heart nearly burst, then rest. We'd catch up. It would run again, we'd follow again. Eventually, it would collapse from exhaustion, and we'd walk up and finish it with a stick." "That's—" Kethvar struggled for words. "That's horrifying. That's Tuesday for a human ancestor. Now multiply that by 200,000 years of evolution." Martinez stopped beside a crater where one of the fortress's main weapons had stood. Every other species in the galaxy developed as either predators who struck fast and hard, or prey animals who relied on speed, camouflage, or herd protection. But humans? We became something else entirely. Which is? The thing that never stops coming. Kethvar felt it chill despite the warm air rising from the cooling ruins. "Your military tactics are just persistence hunting on a galactic scale." Martinez smiled grimly. The Zarian defense grid was designed to repel conventional attacks, massive fleets throwing everything they had at hardened positions. So we didn't do that. We sent small, fast groups to probe for weaknesses. When they found one, they'd exploit it just enough to create a slightly bigger opening, then withdraw before you could respond effectively. "And repeat the process," Kethvar whispered, understanding dawning. "For 3 months. Each time, we took a little more. Never enough to trigger your full response, always just enough to weaken you slightly. Your commanders kept waiting for the real attack, the massive fleet engagement they'd trained for." Martinez picked up another piece of debris, this one still glowing faintly with residual energy. "They never understood that those small raids were the real attack. We weren't building up to one decisive battle. We were slowly bleeding you to death over 100 tiny cuts. But your own losses were acceptable because we planned for a long campaign from the start. Every other species trains for quick, decisive victories. Humans train for wars of attrition because that's what we've always been. Persistent predators who win by simply outlasting everything else." Kethvar looked around at the devastation with new eyes. "You broke an impregnable fortress not through superior firepower, but through superior patience. Welcome to human warfare, Ambassador." Martinez dropped the glowing debris and turned toward the evacuation shuttles. "We weren't born to be warriors. We were made to be something much worse. We were made to be inevitable." As they walked away from the ruins, Kethvar made a mental note to recommend immediate peace negotiations. Some prey, he realized, was simply not worth the hunt.